Welcome to Spotlight Santa Monica. I'm Sandy Jacobson. Today you will meet the city's new librarian, learn about the well-being of our children, and meet your neighborhood resource officers. She oversees more than 200 employees and 5 branches. Welcome our new city librarian, Maria Carpenter. Maria, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Sandy.
We're honored. This is you've only been here a little bit, and
Yes.
here you are. Tell me a little bit about how you got here. What's your professional background?
So most recently, I was working on the East Coast in New England for the city of Somerville. I directed the library services for the city, and that is a dense population, a diverse group of people, 76,000 within 4 square miles, and there were 3 libraries.
Wow.
And prior to that, I was at Northeastern University in Boston, and I founded a department within the libraries. It's Advancement Marketing and Communications. So I launched their fundraising program, and I started a Meet the Author series. And in my prior life, I was an arts administrator, and I worked for various organizations such as Arena Stage in Washington, D.C., and Jacob's Pillow Dance Festival in Western Massachusetts.
You have a very interesting background. Why did you decide on Santa Monica? What made you pick us?
Oh, it's just lovely here. I visited here. I was here for a professional conference about 6 years ago, and I stayed at the DoubleTree. And while I was there, I went to the farmer's market. The sun was shining. It was just beautiful. The food was so fresh. I went and took a yoga class, and I remember thinking, I could totally live here.
You got it. You got the vibe right away.
Yeah, and then when I came back, it was full circle. I stayed at the same DoubleTree, and I went for a walk along the water. Again, another beautiful day. And then I went for the interview with the city, and such fantastic people in the city, just so smart, so dedicated. And then I visited the libraries, and I found the same thing. Wonderful employees there. So it just seemed like the perfect fit.
Well, talking about your first visit to the library, what did you like about the Santa Monica Library, aside from the lovely people?
Oh, well, it's beautiful. You walk into the facilities and they are just breathtaking.
Yeah.
The Central Library is just astounding, and that was my first experience going to the library and just seeing the lighting, the architecture itself. It allows for light to come in. You have that open courtyard. It's inviting. There are welcoming staff there at the different desks. So it was really a beautiful, beautiful library system. And then I went and saw Pico before it actually opened, and that is so very exciting. And I know that there's the soft opening now, and there's going to be the fuller launch later this month. So I think that the library facilities and the programs and services are really top notch.
And how about our little, what's his name, that Carnegie Library? Isn't that an adorable little library?
Oh, the other little branch libraries. Yeah, the one in Ocean Park.
Right,
there's
that one,
Fairview.
yeah.
There's Montana.
I know.
They're all really, really lovely. And I'm really looking forward to spending time at all of the libraries.
What do you think you could bring from the East Coast out here to laid-back Santa Monica?
So in Somerville, it's a really vibrant community. There are a lot of entrepreneurs and creative types and artists, and they're scrappy. They do a lot with a little. So I hope to bring some of that energy and that vibrancy to Santa Monica.
Well, you mentioned in your career, which it's a very long career for one so young, but what's the thing you're most proud of?
Well, in Somerville, I co-authored a grant proposal for a new library building, and that was in the amount of $18 million. And we received it. We are actually awarded that grant. So I think that that's one of my proudest accomplishments, because I think it truly will transform the libraries in Somerville.
I bet you're sort of sad to say goodbye to that lovely little community.
Yeah, sure. I was there for a long time, and I lived there too, so I knew a lot of people in the community.
So you're going to hit the ground running. What's the first thing you're going to do? What are your initial plans?
meeting a lot of people, getting to know the 200 plus library staff and colleagues across the city, board members, friends, other people, people who come into the library, visitors. And I'm really going to do a lot of listening, finding, it's kind of a discovery phase, you know, finding out what people want, what they're pleased with, what their needs are. And then we'll go into planning from there.
Now, it seems to me that libraries, like so much in our world, especially that in print, are in a transitional phase. How do you see the future of libraries?
That is a great question. So the future of libraries to me is just the same as the past and the present. It's meeting the needs of the users, meeting the needs of the residents. But there are a lot of trends that are happening. So digitization and new technologies, and I think that will continue. So it's very important for us to be on the pulse of what's happening with new technologies. A lot of libraries are using microspaces and creating, you know, animation studios and having 3D printers. There's even a library that they helped to design airplanes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think that there's a lot of creative industry opportunities to explore. And then also to solve local issues, to work with other community members, other colleagues across the city, other departments, to really look at, you know, what are the key issues here and how can the library be a good team member and a good collaborator and really address those issues.
Now, along those lines, what do you think that we're already doing very well?
So many things. We have story time. We're just about to launch our summer reading program. And so that's for not only kids, it's also for teenagers and adults, which I just love. I really love that concept. So it's to encourage people to read and to work on their lifelong literacy from pre-K all the way up through being an older American.
Will you meet with members of the community to sort out and get input and see what residents would like to have?
Absolutely. I think that's really critical, and that would be part of the planning process, that would be part of the welcoming process. Absolutely. And so, you know, watch this space because people will hear more about that.
Okay. Now, I always like to ask what people are reading, and especially a librarian. What are you reading right now?
So I'm working on my dissertation on community leadership. So I'm reading a lot about community building and community leadership. And the book I'm reading right now is by these team of researchers called Flora and Flora. And it's about rural community development, and their whole model is nationally known for looking at, you know, what is the effect if you take one capital asset such as sustainability and you connect that with built capital like construction and growth, and you connect that with bridging social capital, that all of that has a spiraling up effect to improve the community.
So no beach reading for you, huh?
That's, you know, not until I'm done.
No. Thank you so much, Maria, and congratulations and welcome to Santa Monica.
Thank you. And one other little thing I just wanted to say, I think that the Pico Branch Library is going to be a national model because it's situated right on that Virginia Park area. And I think it will just be, you know, really interesting test bed. So it's very exciting.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
For more information, please visit smpl.org. Up next, kindergarten readiness to graduation rates. We've got the scoop on the Youth Wellbeing Report Card.
Riding a bicycle can seem like child's play.
But only if you're playing indoors.
Riding in the real street has real consequences.
Play it safe. Ride by the rules. Cars and bikes need to play together.
Good morning, sunshine. If he were, he'd tell you, right? You're too healthy to be. He didn't look sick. What if you weren't safe every time? What if he's sleeping with his ex? What if it broke? If you are HIV positive, what happens next?
You don't have to live with Mr. Doubt. Common Ground offers free testing and care for HIV and STDs, including hepatitis. Just stop by or call us.
It's time you know.
It is a very important report card that is compiled each year to track the well-being of our children. Joining me now is Natasha Guest Kingscote, from Community and Cultural Services. Natasha, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
When and how did the Santa Monica Cradle to Career, or as you guys call it, C2C initiative form? What's the history behind this?
Well, the history was born out of a desire to do best by all of our kids. And we did have a couple of tragic events a few years ago here in our city. We had a gang-related homicide at Virginia Avenue Park right in front of our teen center, and a highly visible public teen suicide. And SMC2C brought together service providers that work with youth and families and civic institutions such as the city, Santa Monica College, and our school district to really address the well-being of our children and what we can do to assist youth and families.
Well, so what is the youth well-being report card?
So when we started the initiative, one of the things we quickly came up upon is where are our children now? Where are they? How do they fare, especially compared to similar cities or other parts of the county? And that brought about a real need for data. And the data turned into a report card, not too dissimilar from report cards that other cities have. So in the fall of 2012, we released our first youth well-being report card. We just came out with our 2014 report card, so it's our second report. And it assesses how our youth are doing across 4 main areas.
That's what I was going to ask you. Are we looking at grades here?
Well, we're looking at academics, sure, but not specifically grades. So we're looking at school and learning and school achievement, physical health and development. How many of our kids are getting immunized, for example, by the time they enter kindergarten? We're looking at social skills and confidence, and we're looking at emotional health and maturity.
How do you assess confidence in a kid?
Well, you know, our data in our report card comes from a variety of different places, and the confidence and the emotional well-being measures come from a survey that our school district administers to 7th, 9th, and 11th graders. It's called the California Healthy Kids Survey.
The children themselves?
And they fill it out themselves. So it's a self-assessment of how they are doing. So it comes directly from the kids themselves.
So how are they doing?
Well,
how is 2014 versus 2012?
We found the data was largely the same, which to us validated that it's good data. There's validity to that. We want to have about 3 years of data under our belt before we start saying, well, this rise or fall here is due to some certain program or some sort of external factor. So we feel like we've established a pretty good baseline. How are our kids doing? Overall, they're doing great. We have a high literacy rate by the end of kindergarten. We have a really low teen birth rate. We've got a high graduation rate among our high school students. But we did find some areas of vulnerability.
Those would be what?
Well, for example, we found that only 1/3 of our children are very ready for kindergarten. We found that 25% of middle and high schoolers self-report extreme periods of sadness and depression over a year time. And we found, just to give you another statistic, that over 40% of our 11th graders reported consumption of alcohol over the last 30 days, which is higher than the county average.
Oh, it is higher. So let's go back to the kindergarten. How do you assess if a child is ready for kindergarten?
That's a great question. So the folks who spend the most time with them assess that outside of our parents. So it's a survey that our kindergarten teachers in the district are taught how to administer. They, after they've had the kids for a while, fill out the survey on each child, and it covers the areas that I spoke of before, so learning and school achievement, social skills, physical development, and so on. And we look at each of those areas, and we can say which kids are on track. Majority of our kids are on track, but some are really falling behind. And from what we know, once you fall behind when you start school, it's increasingly difficult to catch up.
So what can you do once you identify kids who are not quite ready. What can you do to help them along their way?
Well, let me tell you what the Cradle to Career Initiative does, and we'll circle back to kindergarten readiness in particular. So we're a collaborative, as I mentioned, of many different institutions and agencies. It's not necessarily that we're trying to form new programs. We have a lot of really good programs in our community, a lot of resources that we're already that's already available for youth and families. Cradle to Career is about doing things differently, about doing things more effectively and working together toward a common agenda and a common goal, and that's the well-being of our youth. So it's about us meeting, looking at the data, moving forward with the things that are going well to help our kids thrive, and also addressing those vulnerabilities like kindergarten awareness. So we're soon going to have a kindergarten awareness campaign so that parents know, okay, for my child to be physically ready for kindergarten, they must work on their fine motor skills. If I can borrow this, can they pick up a pen and write? Do they have the motor skills for that? Can they cut with scissors? Making sure that kids aren't showing up in the classroom hungry because then it's hard to learn.
So when you say that you have all this data, is the public able to interact with this data to see?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the initiative, you can find all of our information on our website, santamonicayouth.net. You can find the report card, both report cards. This year we wanted to make things a little more interactive in our online version of the report card. So in our print version, it's very straightforward. But in our interactive online version, folks can pull the data in ways that they want to see it. So if they want to see boys through kindergarten in a certain zip code that are low or high income, they can track that over a variety of indicators from birth up to 24 years of age.
This is an amazing program.
We're very excited about it.
And it's so ambitious, and yet you can see the benefits of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Natasha.
Thank you for having me.
To read the Youth Wellbeing Report Card for yourself, visit santamonicayouth.net. Up next, meet the men and women who are dedicated to keeping your neighborhood safe. Stay tuned.
Experience Highway's performance space and gallery.
I knew my journey would lead me to a place
where I'd find a highway that I could travel to the beat of my own drum. Ride out the storm, 95 Joey died, but Deadly was born. And there would be no limits to the vibrancy of my performance.
Join us each week at Highway's Performance Space and Gallery and live without limits. Log on to highwaysperformance.org.
Did you know that Santa Monica is divided into beats, and each beat has an assigned neighborhood resource officer? Joining me now is Sergeant Rudy Flores of the Santa Monica Police Department. Rudy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Or should I call you Sergeant?
No, Rudy Flores is fine.
Okay. So explain this new Santa Monica beat configuration.
So the Santa Monica Police Department has recently changed its beat configuration. We were initially 8 beats, and we've simplified it, and now there's 4 beats. We have the beat number 1, which is essentially the western part of our city, which encompasses Palisades Park, the downtown area, Main Street, and pretty much all the beach. And then we have the south end of the city, which is beat 2, and that's pretty much like Ocean Park all the way to the south. From the east side is Centinela down to 2nd Street. We have the mid-city is beat 3. That's Wilshire, Pico, and Centinela and Lincoln. And the beat 4 is the north end of our city. And that's from Wilshire all the way to the north, from Ocean Avenue to Centinela.
To Centinela. Okay.
Correct.
Well, so now what is community affairs? How does this relate?
So community affairs is a combination of NROs, which are neighborhood resource officers, and crime prevention coordinators. There's one crime prevention coordinator and one neighborhood resource officer assigned to each of these specific beats. These individuals work with the community to address long-term type of issues, quality of life issues. So they work with the community groups, the schools to try to address whatever issues or concerns are going on at the time. And we have one crime prevention coordinator, and one neighborhood resource officer assigned to each beat. Correct.
And do they work in shifts?
No, they move their schedule around based on the needs that are going on at the time.
So basically, their function is to interact with the public in the community.
That's correct.
And do the crime prevention coordinator, do they appear only? Well, no, crime prevention. So what are they doing? Like teaching people how to leave their cars safe?
Yeah, they're the liaisons between the police department and the community. They're constantly analyzing crime trends, and they're going out and trying to educate the community to try to help them to prevent crimes. To reduce the possibilities of them becoming a victim of a crime.
That's bad.
Absolutely.
Try to avoid that at all costs.
Correct.
Better to prevent, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So the NROs and the CPCs, they're sworn officers.
The NROs they're police officers. Our CPCs are civilian personnel, but they work closely together to address whatever the needs are, and they do a great job as well.
Well, let's meet them. We have a video that introduces us to the NROs and the crime prevention coordinators. Let's take a look.
Hello, my name is Rudy Flores. I'm the sergeant with the Community Affairs Unit. The unit consists of crime prevention coordinators and neighborhood resource officers. We are the liaisons between the police department and you. The goal of our unit is to work with the public to proactively prevent crime, identify everyday community concerns, and improve the quality of life for those who reside, visit, and work in Santa Monica. We understand times have changed and receiving real-time information is not only necessary, but it's crucial. This is why we revamped our Facebook page, increased our Twitter activity, and I'm happy to announce a new and improved Santa Monica Alerts. You will now get immediate notifications of major traffic collisions, police activity, crime trends, and major events which may affect you. Together, we can continue to decrease crime. The Santa Monica Police Department has changed its beat configuration, which now consists of 4 beats. There's 1 officer and 1 crime prevention coordinator assigned to each area. Join me as we meet your neighborhood resource officer and crime prevention coordinator.
Hi, my name is Marilyn Amiachi, and I'm the neighborhood resource officer for Beat 1. The Beat 1 area encompasses Main Street, the Pier, Beach, and downtown area. We recently joined forces with Community Relations, and we're now known as the Community Affairs Unit. And this is my partner.
Hi, I'm Susie Lockwood, and I'm the Crime Prevention Coordinator for Beat 1. We're here to help you with residential and commercial security surveys, and we also do presentations for all levels, from preschool through the Emeritus College.
Hi, I'm Officer Art Williams, Neighborhood Resource Officer for the Beat 2 area, and this is my partner, Crime Prevention Coordinator, Laura Layash. Now, we are assigned to the Beat 2 area, which consists of the area between Pico Boulevard to the South City limit and 2nd Street to the East City limit.
Now, if you have a neighborhood watch in your neighborhood or you'd like to start one, please let us know. Neighborhood Watch is a great way to get to know your neighbors and help make your neighborhood safer. It helps also with your communication with the police department and with each other.
Hello, my name is Rick Burbeck, and I'm the Beat 3 NRO. Beat 3 consists of the area from Wilshire to Pico, Lincoln to the East City limits.
Hello, my name is Alexandra Sanchez, Crime Prevention Coordinator for Beat 3. One of the programs offered out of our unit is the Community Academy. An 11-week program offered in English and Espanol, the Community Academy allows for participants to be able to understand the roles and responsibilities of the police department.
Thanks, Alex. Another program we offer is Coffee with the Cop. There's no agendas or speeches, just a chance for you to come by, ask questions, or voice your concerns. For the next date and location, check us out on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Neighborhood Resource Officer Scott McGee. I am the B4 NRO, which consists of the area north of Wilshire Boulevard to North City limits and from Ocean Avenue to the East City limits of Sanella. This is my partner and crime prevention coordinator, Mike Savage.
Thank you, Scott. I'll be working with Officer McGee in the Beat 4 area. We're going to be out canvassing and also communicating with all residents and merchants in regards to current crime patterns and trends. We look forward to working with all of you to fight crime in your neighborhood.
And remember, our goal is to be the liaison or the bridge between you, the community, and the police department.
When you see us on the streets,
say hello.
Oh, that's just how they're going to have
Wow, that's a good team you've got there.
Great group of folks, yes.
So does this relate to Neighborhood Watch?
It does.
And if I wanted a Neighborhood Watch in my area and I didn't already have one, what would I do?
Well, the first thing to do is contact our Community Affairs Unit. We will help you organize your own Neighborhood Watch. But you know, the best thing you have to do, that one can do is first of all, find out who lives in your neighborhood, who lives on your block, you know, knowing your neighbors. And there's a lot of folks who live out there who don't necessarily know who lives to the right of them or to the left of them. So number one, you maybe go out, talk to your neighbors, communicate with them, try to figure out a good day and time to all get together, get their emails, and then we will help you and guide you to start your neighborhood watch.
What's the Community Academy? I heard about that.
Yeah, the Community Academy is a great way for the community to come and experience pretty much 12 weeks of being a police officer and kind of knowing what the services and learning about the services that we offer the community. It's a great way for the community to understand, you know, the things that we go through day by day, so they have a better understanding of what we do. It's very interactive. There's a lot of demonstrations. One of the really cool things that they get to do is do like a mock traffic stop. So, so you know, if you went through the academy, then you know we would put you, pretend that you were a police officer, and you would conduct a traffic stop, and then you get to know why it is, you know, the things that we do. Why is it that a police officer, you know, walks up to a car, you know, on the right side or left side?
Right.
Why is it that the police officer shines his light at my face? So it gives you a better understanding.
Do I get to wear a uniform?
Unfortunately not.
Oh, too bad. What about, and how about Coffee with a Cop? What's that?
Coffee with a Cop is a great little event that we just recently started, and it's typically our NROs. They'll go out to different venues throughout the city, you know, a nice coffee place, and it's an opportunity for the public just to come in and to communicate and just talk and maybe ask certain questions, some questions, you know, and basically just have a coffee with the cop.
That sounds great. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's lovely to know I can interact with policemen and I don't have to be afraid they're going to give me a ticket.
No, yeah, we definitely will not give you a ticket if you come visit us.
Okay.
Please do come visit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'd love to. For more information, please visit santamonicapd.org/NRO. Thank you so much for watching Spotlight Santa Monica. Join us next time for more of the people and departments that make Santa Monica such a desirable place to live.